What's up YouTube? It's Dan from the Headwaters Kayak Shop in Lodi, California, and I'm out here at the Cosumnes River Preserve today. I wanted to show you guys around one of my favorite bodies of water for flatwater kayaking in the Delta. It's a free launch, it's easy access, and just a beautiful area to explore. So one thing I'll say if you've never been here before is bring your wheels or be prepared to carry, but it's about an eighth of a mile hike down to the water. So down here at the launch ramp, they have a little information board, and it gives you a little map. It tells you where you're at, kind of where you can go. You can go up to Cosumnes or up to Mokelumne. You technically go down to Wimpy's. We're going to actually go through Middle Slough, which doesn't show up on the map. It's a really pretty area if you can get back there. Sometimes the flows are a little high. Sometimes you have to portage, but it'll be a fun adventure. Also, just for the record, this map is available at the Visitor Center. You see it's a low profile dock close to the water, but you do need to know how to do a dock entry. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate that for you right now. All right, you guys, I'm going to attempt to do this without a camera mount. I normally have my mount, but I forgot it today. So let's give it a shot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the paddle behind me. I'm going to wrap this hand around the cockpit and the paddle. Now I'm going to put this hand and just press it down on the paddle, and I'm going to slide my butt over into the kayak. Using this paddle as support, all my weight's on it, so the boat can't really tip up. It hits that paddle and locks in. Once I'm in the boat, push away and I'm good to go. Since we're here, let's do it in reverse because you're gonna have to get out of this thing eventually. Same is true. I go behind me, paddle on the cockpit, paddle on the dock, and I just slide my butt right over. Feet go out. Easy peasy. Trust me, you can do it. We're gonna hang a right and we're gonna go through what we call the back door, which is Middle Slough, through this little bridge. It's tight, and like I said, a lot of times you have to portage, but I think with the flows today, we should be able to bob right over the top. So it's literally been years since I've been through here, but I remember you used to have to like sneak through over here, but right now it's so high that I'm able to just paddle right through. Now with that said, getting back might be a little bit more of a chore. And yes, I did hit my face on every branch going through that tree. All right, you guys, so I expected current, but what I did not expect was like some rapids behind me. And if you look back there, it's pretty tight quarters. Definitely don't recommend going down at these flows. That was pretty sketchy. I was kind of committed to it and I got through. If you'd have told me I'd have been out here surfing whitewater on the Cosumnes, I probably wouldn't have believed you today. So I made it through the rapids, and around the next bend, I see this. I see there's actually this kayak and there's one over here. They're both caught in the trees. And man, it just goes to show. This is a recreational kayak, no bulkheads. They probably tipped over and it probably got swept, got caught in the brush, and there was no way for them to physically get this out. I had to get it unjammed, but yeah, it's full of water. So even be able to empty this out and get it back, I don't know how I would do it. Hope everyone was all right. I mean, you could tell he's got his bilge pump, he's got his gummy worms, he was ready for a good day on the water. I don't think it went that way for him. Yeah, so as much as I'd love to get this kayak out of here, it's so full of water, there's no way for me to empty it out by myself. I'm gonna have to come back with the second set of hands, and hopefully it's still there. So here's the other one, and it's tough to get in there and grab it, but man, I'm not gonna lie, that kind of shook me up seeing those kayaks in there. Just going through that rapid section and then thinking to myself, like, man, I don't know if I should even be doing this video. Like, that was at my skill level where I felt comfortable navigating through those trees, especially in a little bit longer, pointier kayak. And then seeing those kayaks right after that, I'm like, it definitely has to be sketched out. So instead of trying to get back up there, I know I could, I've done that before, but I'm gonna try to just take a safer way back to not put myself at any risk. It'd be one thing if I was out here with somebody, but being by myself, I think I'm gonna do the smarter thing. So let's see if we can find the portage to get back over. It'll be to the Mokelumne River, the next kind of slough up. So if you've ever driven up and down I-5, you've actually seen this slough. Up ahead of me there, you'll see I-5, and it's pretty wild to think about. You probably don't even know where this is at. So once we get past I-5, it just opens up into one of the more gorgeous sloughs you can find in the Delta, and it's so infrequently that it gets paddled. It's a lot of work to get here, but once you get through the gnarly spots, it's just stunning. So it's kind of ironic to me that this morning I got an email from Paddling Magazine, and they were talking about how Instagram is bad for paddling. And I'm of the mindset of like, the whole reason I'm out here is to bring people along, show them adventure, show them like what's available to them in their backyard. But then I realized if I was to just come out here and like take a picture of this beautiful scenic slough, I mean, look at it right now. It's postcard perfect. and that's all I talked about and just tagged the location, then somebody else might come out here like those other folks with no bulkheads, maybe no life jackets, and think they're going for a float and get into serious trouble. So I guess it was a reminder that, like, yeah, that kind of does apply to me, and I need to make sure that I'm giving good information, bringing you guys along, but also making sure that you guys are doing it safely. So just PSA, call somebody before you head out. Make sure you know your area. Do your own research. Don't just trust what a buddy says. And then call the local paddle shop and say, hey, I'm thinking about floating here today. What do you know about that area? What can you tell me? And lastly, and most importantly, and obviously, always wear your life jacket, because you just never know. So now I'm down here where a couple of sloughs come together. You can see the little break in the dike. Middle slough and lost slough sort of mold together, and there's a few different ways around these islands. And eventually, if we were to keep going down Lost Slough, we'd make it all the way to Wimpy's or Delta Meadow State Park. But today, because we're a little pressed for time, and I know I got to buck all that current going home, I'm gonna hang a left and try to hop my way over to the Mokelumne River. You just never know what you're gonna find in the Delta. Looks like somebody's storage shed was just sucked away by the tide or something. Lots of debris brushed up here, so it must have floated down from way upstream, but I can't imagine where. I made my way over to Lost Slough. I just wanted to check it out, but as you can see, a little bit more population. So I'm gonna go back up here to the Narrows and try to find that portage I talked to you guys about. I've been out here and man, it was all overgrown with hyacinth. I couldn't even get back here for the past 5 years. So to be back here, it's kind of like my home waters. I used to live out this way and explore and just almost rediscover it for the first time. Yeah, so inspiring. And the amount of bass I'm seeing rolling along the weeds line along that bank, or you can see some over here, it's insane. I wish I had my pole with me right now. Kind of feel silly for coming out here without it. But it was nice to just get out and cover some miles. And honestly, now I'll have a way better idea where to go and what's going on out here. So I made it to the ramp after paddling up this dead end slough. You can see behind me here that this is the old ramp. And honestly, I didn't even know this would be here because this has been covered in weeds for the past 5 years. But this winter has swept all the hydrilla hyacinth, swept all the hyacinth away. And now we're able to get here, but it looks like a tree also has fallen down on the way. So we're gonna try to get through there and pull the kayak over the tree. But it's still safer than trying to paddle up that river or whatever, that slough with all the current. Here we go. I think I can get over here and get around. Maybe. So even though eddy line looks fragile, they're actually way burlier than what people think. Holy shit. Woo! Oh, the hazards of being a YouTuber. I need to get some proper camera gear. I'm just doing this on my phone, but that was sketchy. Anyway, almost through. What I was saying is kudos to the eddy line. I don't mind throwing it around because it's still plastic. It could still take a beating. In fact, just the other day, this boat was on top of my van. I don't know if you saw it on Instagram, but I forgot to strap it down. Huge mistake. Got caught up talking. And as I was pulling her out of the parking lot, it fell off my car, rolled into the ditch. And it held up well. And now this adventure, I just got to drag over to the top. Looks like they've had to rebuild the road a little bit. How's that for sketchy? We've got a rocky launch with poison oak on either side, or poison oak and a blackberry bush. Not a launch I would want to do in my composite canoe. Super thankful I brought the eddy line today. Now I'm on the Mokelumne River, which if you look out there, you can tell it's flowing pretty good. And I'm gonna have to put my head down and paddle. I need to get home roughly by 6, and I'm cutting it close with this little adventure. So I'll check back in at the dock, but I'm gonna pin it. So there's a little visual reference for you guys. If you've paddled out here before, this is the way back to the dock. That way is up to Cosumnes. And then the way I just came from was the Mokelumne River, where the Mokelumne and the Cosumnes meet. It becomes the Mokelumne, and I basically just did a big loop. All right, made it back safe and sound. Just a little later than I thought I'd be. Whew. Oh, that was such a good time. I ended up probably doing about 10 miles all around. Not what I intended. I intended to be out here for about an hour and just explore one spot, but you never know what happens. You know, I came prepared for a little longer paddle if need be. So that's what I got. I hope you remember to just get out there, enjoy the water that's in your backyard, do it safely, make sure to wear your life jacket, and check in with others before you head out. Make sure they know where you're going, where you're going to be, what time you're going to be back, etc. All right, you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. This is Dan from Headwaters Kayak Shop, wishing you happy paddling, and we'll see you on the next one.